Good afternoon and good evening, Eric and Luke and the rest of the community. How are we feeling?
Doing pretty good. Can you guys hear me okay?
Mic check. Loud and clear, Eric. Luke, do you want to give us a little mic check? Serenade us with your voice. Or you can stay muted. Either way, buddy. I know you're camera shy. It's fine.
Well, I'm back home now, so I've got my wonderful microphone on my desk so you guys can hear my beautiful voice in all of its clarity.
That is super crisp, Eric. I have to ask, what was the number one thing you were missing whilst you were on the road?
The obvious answer, my family. But other than that,
Good answer.
Honestly, American candy. Yeah, candy in other countries is not the same as candy in America. We did go see a movie while we were in Thailand. We went to a movie theater and saw a movie for one of our few moments that we weren't working. And I was very disappointed when I got to the movie theater and they didn't sell candy. They just sold popcorn. That was it. Just popcorn. And I thought, man, I don't know how it is in the UK for you guys, but in the US, there's an entire section dedicated to candy, like, boxes of candy that kids and adults alike eat during the movies.
Yeah, we certainly fall short of that over here.
I'm somewhat of a Sour Patch Kid fan myself, so if I go to the movies, I want to eat Sour Patch Kids and drink a large Coke and come out of the other end with diabetes. So
I love that. And this is why everyone needs to come to these AMAs, because you learn something new about our founders that you just didn't know before. E.g., Eric has a sweet tooth. Eric has a sweet
on occasion, not every day.
I believe you, buddy. I believe you. Well, look, whilst we're waiting... Oh, and he's back. Okay, so Luke, loud and clear, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I sure can.
We hear you loud and clear,
sir. How are you feeling today, Luke? And he's gone again, but he'll be back. But whilst we wait for Luke to join us, if it's your first time joining us, allow me to explain how our AMAs work. We start off with a nice little intro from myself, John Harry. I'm the head of PR. What does that mean? It means all the brilliant work that the PCC team are doing in the background. I bring it to light so you know the true health of what we're doing behind the scenes. Then I'll switch to a little update about what marketing are doing, so you know the marvelous work and how we're constantly trying to improve our communication with you, our community. Then, ideally, this is my favorite part of the AMAs. That's the updates from Eric and Luke. This is where we find out, and sometimes I even find out for first time exclusive on these AMAs, what marvelous work PCC have been doing. And tonight, we have some special guests, because if you've been living under a rock, you may have missed that Swapsicle, one of our first incubators, will be launching today. Now, we don't know what time, so keep your eye on their Discord. They might even go live whilst they're on our AMA with us. We might have that honor. Although I don't think they would want to launch live whilst they're on the AMA, just in case they need to take care of anything. So we're going to have those boys joining us shortly after the updates with Eric and Luke. We're then going to question them and put them in the hot seat to really grill them about why, how, and what impact they're going to have in the decentralized exchange space. And of course, as nest holders, what does that mean for you? Before, of course, we go to our pre-submitted questions for Eric and Luke, and we put them in the hot seat, and then handing it over to you, the community, with us live, where you can ask your questions in real time. Now, we've made a few changes for good reason. Once you ask your question and we bring you up, I'm going to politely move you back down to the audience, just to make sure we stick strictly to the one question rule, so everyone gets a chance to ask a question. Now, if we move to updates from marketing, we have another change. And again, we listen to you, the community, for feedback. So the first change is our AMAs. Now, don't worry, they're still going to be weekly, but they're going to be on Wednesdays, same time, 9 p.m. UTC. But the reason why we've done this is it gives the team more time to prepare. So as you can imagine, everyone, we come back from the weekend where we try, emphasis on try, to switch off over the weekend. And then on the Monday, we prepare and then we go live. And so we only have a matter of a few hours to put that all together. So to make sure these AMAs continually improve in quality, we're going to make sure that we place our AMAs in the middle of the week, Wednesday. John, our social media manager, has also noticed that that's better engagement in terms of time placement, as it's less busy than Mondays. So we hope that's not going to conflict with too many of your schedules, but if it does, don't fear, because we have 3 things for you. Number 1, the replays are going to still be in place. Number 2, the recaps. So if you are hard of hearing or you missed the AMAs, the recaps will be there for you, just in case you want to listen to my voice or Eric's or Luke's for 1 hour. And then finally, something which myself and the marketing team are really proud to launch this week is the Phoenix Weekly Update. Now, Fiona, our Director of Communication, she is our wordsmith. And if you've listened and read any of our Medium posts, you would truly see how talented she is. And I want to use and abuse her for her talents. So what I'm going to do every week is I'm going to go to the head of departments, get the highlights from that week, about 5 or 10, hand them over to Fiona, our head of communications. She'll work her magic. A Medium blog post will go up every Friday. It will be succinct, it will be clear, it will be concise, because we want to control the narrative of what's happening at PCC. We want you to know the true health of the company in real time. And we also acknowledge that you might not be able to sit here for an hour, be on these AMAs, or watch the replays. On top of that, I'll make a nice little video, as I know some of you can go to sleep with my voice. So I'll be making a video about that Medium blog post, about the 5 or 10 highlights of the week from PCC. So those are some of the updates from the marketing department and more to come. Now, I acknowledge Luke's got a few tech issues, so I'm going to keep speaking with him in the background and make sure he's okay. So in the meantime, Eric, are you happy, sir, to take the reins and give us some of the updates from the past week?
I am. We had a bit of a cadence here, though, but that's fine. I can do them.
No problem. No problem.
Luke's having problems, so that's okay.
Yes.
So announcement number 1, we have Spectrum NFT Chief Operating Officer and Chief Marketing Officer joining the team in 2 weeks. So we interviewed a couple of really good candidates out in the UK, and they were very keen to come on board. They both have really tremendous experience in the crypto space, as well as marketing and operations. And one of them specifically works on more of an auditing capacity and has a very analytical approach to everything. So you can guess which side he's going to be on. And then the other comes from an NFT background and an understanding of marketing for NFTs as well. So he's going to join. They're both going to join the team, and in just a couple of weeks. So that's the first announcement.
Nice. Now, Eric, if you don't mind me asking really quickly about that, Spectrum NFT. Everyone, of course, curious as to when Spectrum NFT is going to launch. I know Luke shared in one of the chats previously about why it's been delayed. Are you happy just to recap why?
Yeah, we're working on it imminently. First, we have to do a beta launch, and then the beta launch is tested internally for any bugs. Bugs that are identified have to be corrected, and then we do another launch, and then we do a little bit more testing. Once we get it to the point where we feel like it's ready to launch and it's ready for public, it will go public. I don't have a timeline because I don't want anybody to say, well, you said it was going to launch on this day. So imminently soon.
Nice. And everyone, hopefully you can appreciate that. Nice.
Yeah, just for the vagueness ahead of time. I know it's not what some of you people want to hear. Some of you people want to hear it's going to launch at this time on this date. And I just can't give you that exact time and date at this moment, but we are working on it imminently soon.
Yeah, no, and look, any reasonable investor will understand that there's things that we don't see that happen, e.g. bugs. And these bugs are important that we delay to ensure that this launch, as internally we know we're doing some things that have never been done before. So it comes with its own resistance. But like most of the resistance we face, we'll go through it. So now, moving on to the next statement, Eric, and I know this one came with a lot of resistance internally and for the rest of the community, and that was with the recent exploit of the smart contract. Eric, would you like to just clarify to everyone what's the current situation and how are we moving forward with it?
Yes, certainly. So, as you know, there was a small issue a few days ago with a bad actor and suspicious activity. We have amassed a great deal of evidence in the last few days, which we have handed over to global law enforcement agencies who are actively investigating. Much as we would love to share the details with you, we have been advised by legal counsel not to make any statements and share any details of an ongoing criminal investigation. So, with that said, I want you guys to understand, if you raise your hand and you come on the stage today and your question is regarding the exploit, the investigation, or the parties involved, we absolutely will not answer any of those questions. So please, if that's all you have, do not raise your hand and save the valuable space for other people who might have other questions.
That's right. That's right. So thank you, Eric, for clearing that up. Not something, of course, we want to spend much time on. We understand, of course, it's unpleasant, it's painful, and hopefully everyone can understand. The people that feel the most pain is the team at PCC. But rest assured, the damage is minute, and we have all the information we need to take the actions.
I will say, furthermore, Jordan, sorry to interrupt you.
Please.
We have already put in place stuff. We have already put some measures in place to stop it from happening again. So there was an identified vulnerability. It has been blocked now. So no issues going forward, but we're not going to be discussing any of the other stuff that I mentioned before.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Eric. Thank you. And now let's pick everyone's mood up with some remarkable information. And as an investor at heart, I know the importance of return on investment, how fast, of course, when. Because Luke put in the announcements that any minute now, Swapsicle could be going live. Like I said, could they be doing it whilst we're on the IMA? We'll soon see. But we do have some information that we got earlier today, which, Eric, I know you're particularly proud to share with everyone. So what is that information that you got from Swapsicle?
Swapsicle, as you all know, will be launching very, very, very shortly. And they are returning our original investment of $60,000 that we made when they first got started. We are keeping the 15% of transaction fees as the agreement was written. So we're getting back the original investment and maintaining the ongoing 15% revenue profit share. Luke, you back?
All right.
No.
I'm
We
back.
passed that part. We passed that part. You missed it.
Really? Where are we up to?
We were just talking about Swapsicle returning the $60,000 investment and the fact that we're still keeping the 15%. Do you want to elaborate any more on that?
Yeah. Firstly, what an amazing thing for the Swapsicle team to do. Oftentimes when you're investing in a project, they'll keep the capital and they'll allocate it elsewhere. However, credit to the Swapsicle team and everyone over there. I remember when the founders came to me and they discussed the idea with me, and they were like, "Listen, man, we love the community, and they created Swapsicle because they wanted to give back and support the community and the development of our ecosystem, and they've done just that. And I think the fact that they've kept to the original agreement and have returned the initial investment is an absolutely wonderful, wonderful thing, and just goes to show the commitment of all the teams that were involved in this. It's not a small sum of money, but it's also not a large sum of money. And they could have quite easily put it in the coffers. But credit to you guys. Thank you. We're very, very grateful, and I'm sure all the community are as well. And I'm sure that they'll pass over their thanks. So yeah, hats off to the Swapsicle team, man.
Oh, definitely, no doubt about that. And that's what's remarkable is they didn't have to do this. It shows a clear sign of health and current sentiment within the team that they're able to do this. And most importantly, reiterating again that we still keep our share of the profits. So any minute now, they'll be going live. And in real time, whilst there's a lot of FUD about what we were doing, I'm a big believer that I don't argue with my words, I argue with my actions. So we appreciate every single one of you for being patient. It's a big moment. And speak of the devil, and he will appear. What's up, Swapsicle boys?
Boys.
How are you,
Jordan.
fellas?
Hey, welcome, guys. Welcome. Before we jump into the Swapsicle portion, I wanted to make sure that we got one more. I wouldn't even call it an announcement, just kind of a statement that I wanted to make that I've been talking to the team internally, and I think it's probably worth sharing with the community. And that has to do with expectations around announcements. Now, as we know, crypto moves at a very, very, very fast pace. This gives us the illusion that more time has passed than in real life. So I want to make sure that the community is aware to temper expectations on announcements. We simply cannot have Christmas morning every 7 days we do an AMA. We are huge fans of transparency and communication. That's why we have these weekly AMAs and announcements and updates. And we often, Luke and myself and the rest of the team, often engage in Discord in between. But I want to make sure everyone's got the right expectations going forward. While we have had some amazing announcements in the past and in very short order, things take real time in the real world to develop. So we're not going to be able to keep up with the pace of every 7 days we have an AMA and there's this bombshell announcement. I know we kind of spoiled you guys early on because we did have that, but I just want to make sure everyone's tempered expectations, realize real world time versus crypto time, and there is a difference. It's really weird because when you work in this business, I feel like we've been in business now for like 3 years, and it's been like 6 months, not even 6 months. So it's really just really necessary for everyone to take a step back and realize real world stuff takes real world time to develop, and we'll get the information out as soon as we can. One more thing, and I'm sorry to take so much time here, Jordan. I know you want to move on to the next segment with the Swapsicle team here.
I knew why.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. The community wants to know a lot of information, and I want to make sure that you understand that while we want to share what we can with you, there is a first to market advantage that we would like to preserve. If we come to this AMA or we come to the Discord server and we give you every single detail of every single deal and every single plan we have in place, we will also be inadvertently signaling to some of our competitors what our plans are, and we may lose first to market advantage. So that's the reason why Luke and I share information at an opportune time where we feel we can maintain the first to market advantage, but also give you the visibility that you're requesting. So keep that in mind when you're asking about stuff that's going on and is planned for, say, 6 months out or 3 months out. We can't give you all the details right now because it would simply cause too much competitive advantage out there. That's it. We can move on. Sorry. Thank you.
Hey, don't say at all, Eric. It's important. It's something which, as we grow bigger in size, it's important that people's expectations are met and handled accordingly. Now, talking about being expected, now, boys, Jacob, Alan, Brian, it's lovely to have you up on here. Now, between the three of you, who would like to make any announcements before we go into some pre-submitted questions?
I'm happy to dive in first. So yeah, it's been an incredible day so far for the Swapsicle team. I'm still in the office with Tom, our CEO, who's only a couple of chairs down from me, as we work into the night. We are live with our P-Pops to Pop swap page, and everyone's jumping in and getting involved and swapping over. And we are very, very short from announcing the launch of the DEX. It is coming very soon.
Wow, powerful. And Jacob, I saw in our chat something like a couple of million S-Pops have already been swapped. Do you actually know the numbers? I know Brian's our liquidity manager.
I hope Brian knows. What are you thinking, Brian? Done a couple?
We are at, officially, let me refresh the page. We are at 313 addresses that have swapped so far. So we're a little over, what is that, about 31%.
Remarkable. And of course, we expect that number to climb as time goes on. Sorry, Jacob, you're going to say something.
No. We're getting there. We're certainly getting there. We understand that not everyone can perhaps jump on and swap their P-Pops to Pops. We just want to let everyone know that, that site will remain open and, everyone will be able to get their opportunity to swap. So if they can't make it for whatever reason, don't panic. It's going to be there.
Remarkable. And I have 2 questions, which I know is on everyone's mind. Where do we go to swap it, and how long do we have?
So the official site is pops.swapsicle.io. You will find that in our Discord. There is a how-tos section in there, and there's quite a nice graphic that actually gives you a step-by-step. Also, our moderators are working round the clock to help people. So by all means, raise a ticket. You'll find that you can only react with emojis at the moment or raise tickets. This is to stop any fraudulent or bad behaviour within our Discord. So we are muted apart from moderators and Swapsicle team currently.
Very smart move.
I did want to touch on one thing. If you're having any issues with the swap button, make sure your VPN is turned off or you're on a different browser. We have seen some issues with that. And then if you're still having issues, try and clear your cache, stuff like that. But we did it just to kind of give everyone an update that we did have a few issues come through that we're working through.
Thank you for that, Brian. And that actually comes on to my next question, which was, what are some of the biggest challenges / troubleshooting you faced so far with people swapping? So, Brian, Jacob, who wants to take that question?
I'll take these, and I'm sure that
Super.
Al and Brian are going to get involved in some other questions. So, by a country mile, it's been the development, it's been the back end, and I'm sure PCC can empathise with how difficult some of these things can be. Having recently onboarded Bit Graphics, our new dev team, it's possibly one of the best decisions we've made. They have worked around the clock. They have done so well, and to see what we had and what we've got now, we realise that it's the best thing we've done. And that has been the biggest challenge. Lee has been working tirelessly. Rory, who's been recently employed, has been working tirelessly. And it's all come together. And we're really proud of what we can show at this early stage in the actual DEX's development.
I'd just like to supplement what you've said there, Jacob, because I think the community needs to understand how difficult a launch is. There are so many moving parts to launching a smart contract. These guys are launching a decentralized exchange, which is a bigger task than we had at launch. And I know exactly how nerve-wracking and time-consuming our launch was. So, I've been tracking it all through the day-to-day, guys. You've absolutely nailed it. I think this is testament to the team and everything that you've done, because 10 out of 10 from our side, it's been beautiful to watch.
Thanks, Luke. No, I appreciate the kind words.
Anytime.
Yeah, and I was there when, of course, we launched our token. I can only imagine what it's like launching an entire DEX. And of course, the entire ecosystem's launching at the exact same time. So we are in your corner and know that our community is as well, boys. So, Alan, I know we haven't heard from you yet, but I know you've got a big announcement after these questions. So hang tight, buddy. Next question. How big is the team, boys? And where are you based in the world? I can hear the British accents. Is the team remote? Are we all in an office?
I will promise I'll shut up after this, but I'm happy to answer that one. I'm literally in that location as we speak right now. So we are in London, and we're in an absolutely amazing place called Shoreditch. The actual team is now over 10 people, and we are growing. We have live vacancies that are being advertised, and we are strengthening and really coming together. But that core team is there. But actually, what exists beyond the core team are actually our partnerships and who we work with. The team at Bit Graphics, as an example, is full of many people. And actually, the marketing resource that I've recently been in conversations with have got amazing resource as well. So actually, the people that we partner with, although they're not actually core members employed by Swapsicle, they work with us and they work for us essentially. So they are part of the team, and we ensure they feel like that, and that's the relationship we have with our partners.
Excellent insight. And that's the hardest thing, right? We live online, so it's hard to really see who's behind it all. And I know the same questions come into Luke and Eric a little bit later about how big is PCC and will we see an infograph. So Jacob, one last question on that note. You mentioned some vacancies. Who are you looking for? And if you can't tell about all the roles now, where can we go to apply for those roles?
Absolutely. So we're working with a specific recruitment agency. We can share some details on that in our Discord in time. But ideally on LinkedIn, you'll find some of the vacancies live already. And some of those vacancies, I mean, we're talking about the office. You know, you can't have an office without an office manager. So that's one of the roles that we've had to appoint. Our commercial team's been growing as Brian and Dale really holding down the fort on the commercial side of things. But as we grow, the attention gains, the partners that we want to work with, the collaborations that are possible have grown almost beyond our control. So multiple plates are being spun. Brian and Dale have done a fantastic job, but it's time to recruit them some team support. So we'll be looking to deliver on some people to actually make those outreach in those sort of commercial conversations. And myself, actually, my marketing team. So I've got a fantastic illustrator, fantastic marketing companies that I'm working with, but actually internally, we do need a sort of a social media / marketing assistant role as well, which is currently being advertised, and that's kind of it. There are a couple of other small bits, but nothing that I can really say until the vacancy's live. So, but yeah, they're the kind of three that are on the plate at the moment.
Nice. So it goes without saying, head over to your Discord, follow your Twitter to keep up to date when those vacancies go live. Is that right, Jacob?
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, hopefully, I do my job properly. Otherwise, there could be a head of marketing position available, and we don't want that. So.
Knowing you since day one, I know you're going to do a marvelous job, and you're going to build an incredible team behind you as well. Now, we're halfway through. You're welcome.
On that note, I would say, by the way, when we do launch, I've got a really, I just have been so passionate about this launch video. So when we do launch, please, everyone here that wants to support this project, go on our Twitter, smash that like button, watch that video, give your feedback. I'd love to hear it. But I'm really, really proud of it, and I'd love you all to watch it and let me know if you like it as well. But I'm very, very proud of the Swapsicle branding and what we've brought to the table so far. And I think this video that we're going to unleash upon launch really summarizes what we're all about. So yeah, please let me know.
And Jacob, I know how good your guy is.
I've got a history of doing videos with Jacob, and I can attest to exactly how good his videos are. So Jacob, I'm looking forward to watching it.
Thank you, Luke. And I know exactly what that video is, and that was a really fond memory. I've still got that. Yeah, still know exactly what you're talking about.
You've still got it, man. I'd love to see it.
And so would the rest of us. Don't leave us out of this, okay?
I actually won a mobile phone from that video. It was a BlackBerry Bold 9700. Just to clarify, I won a prize, so it did well.
And that's how long ago it was that Blackberries were still a thing.
Hey, they're still cool. They're still cool. I miss typing on a keyboard. Oh, now bringing back that nostalgia from my business days when I had my little BlackBerry when I was 14, showing my age right there. Jacob, Alan, I'm coming to you too. Maybe Alan, because we haven't heard from him just yet. What's the utility of the POPs token? It may sound evident, but for those who don't know, what can we use the POPs token for? Will he speak?
I think Alan's finishing some up. Alan, you want me to take this one? All right, well,
I'll take that as a yes.
Blink twice if you're in distress. Come on, Alan.
I'm telling you, man, there's so many moving parts still going on. We're finishing everything up. But Jordan, thanks for having us on. Yeah, I'll touch a little bit on sort of the utility, kind of what's happening now and what will happen in the future. So as everybody's aware of, we're a little different in the sense that we're not an inflationary DEX coin. You know, we like to think of ourselves as not just another farm token that you're just accumulating to accumulate. So in the beginning, you're going to see, you know, more of the traditional DEX things, be able to stake it in the ice cream van, make different liquidity pairs. and stuff like that. But one thing to really hone in on is the fact that because we're a deflationary asset, that leads to scarcity, which drives price in general, right? You're going to see that. That's just basic economics. So that's something that we're really proud of to, have fresh off the start. I mean, that's something that's basically what the foundation has been built upon. And the next thing, start talking more into the future is Pops is really going to be your ticket to all the new projects we have, NFT things, collateralization of the Pops coin, S-Pops being able to be interoperable between different chains. As you guys saw in our roadmap, we anticipate going cross-chain. So when you have a token that can be staked and earning yourself rewards still, and also interact with different blockchains, that's a really big deal for us. And finally, we don't just say that, the DEX is for the community, by the community, we really mean it. And what that means is that that's basically part of your voting rights. When you own the Pops, will eventually become VE Pops, which is the weighted portion of the Pops token, will give you a say in the direction of that DEX goes, and basically have voting power to become part owner in the DEX. And that's really what we're striving for. You saw it, what we've been able to do is just so community driven and community focused that's part of why we were able to give that money back, because we really are focused on, this is just the first mile of a marathon. And we're really trying to build everything out. So again, I just want to say, guys, we are pushing as hard as we can and exhausted, but we're really proud of what we're building and being able to be a part of everything. So thank you, Jordan, for having us on, and we're just going to keep going.
Don't mention it.
See, this is why. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, there you go. Sorry, guys. I've had comms issues, plus I've been busy. So I just want to kind of jump in quickly because I'm kind of distracted, as you can imagine. People like Brian epitomize exactly why Lee and I surround ourselves with great team players, because that's the perfect question that should be put to people like Brian, because they are the ones that kind of come up with the answers. We surround ourselves because Lee and I are not the experts at building decentralized exchanges. God, no. We might have the vision to do that, but we need the right people around us to be able to execute on that vision. And that's why we have Jacob. That's why we have Dale. That's why we have Brian. And we have various other individuals in the team, such as Tom, our CEO, who we have great belief in because he shows kind of wisdom beyond his years, believe it or not, for such a young lad. It's kind of this thing. And the other thing I want to kind of touch on just quickly, because I can't really talk for too long, and I do apologize, is that I think the hard work isn't getting here. It's kind of happens next phase when we launch live. That's when the hard work, I think, starts. It's kind of easy. It's easy to get there on the journey. We all know that phrase. It's staying at the top. It's staying there. That's the hardest part. I think for me, that's how I envisage things. I'm a results-driven person. I kind of live and die by my sword. I want to have as much success as the next person where we can all enrich our lives or whatever wealth we choose to kind of get enriched by. But I think I'd like to kind of just personally express my own personal gratitude, and I speak on behalf of Lee here, towards the team at Swapsicle who have helped Lee and I kind of execute on this vision that we wanted to kind of do. And as I say, it's testament to where we are today, what we've achieved, giving back the investment, which I think is an important gesture, being able to kind of go to the next phase realistically and continue on with partnerships, being able to build out great utility and for more utility for POPs tokens so that people can be part of something. Now, again, if you don't want to be part of our ecosystem and you want to leave our project, you can always sell your tokens at the end of the day. And that's the beauty of that option. You can choose to kind of stay within and participate, or you can choose to leave. But we want you to participate, and we're going to do what we can in order to try and make sure that you maintain and stay within and, come along with us on the journey. Now, it's cliche what I'm saying, but it's the truth. And I really don't care whether you believe me or not, because I believe in myself. I believe in my team. I believe in the ecosystem and what PCC have been part of. So I just wanted to kind of come out there quickly and just say that before I kind of duck back out again. So thank you guys for everything. Appreciate the kind of collaboration that we've been doing and the invitation today. And yes, we're going to be launching. Oh, my comms has gone. I've got to go, lads. Sorry. Back in a second.
Oh, leaving us on a cliffhanger.
Love that.
Leaving us on a cliffhanger. I love that too, Luke.
You would have thought we rehearsed that. That was pretty good.
Did you not
You're not
reverse?
wrong.
Did you not rehearse that? That was textbook, man.
What?
Textbook cliffhanger.
Oh wow, well we can't wait to either hear from you again, and I hope it's good news. But yes, when you launch, most importantly, it might be cliche what you were saying, Alan, but it's true. And again, it comes back to you don't argue with your words, you argue with your actions. And we'll be watching, we'll be supporting, and we appreciate that transparency. So Jacob and Brian, whilst we've got you with us, the next question, and we have one more because I'm conscious of time and I know how important time is right now for you guys, is what pairing do you have on your decks? What tokens will be listed from day one? Who wants to take that, Jacob or Brian?
So I actually, sorry, I'm going to have to run here in a sec too, but Joe just hit me up if you want to call him up as well. I'll answer this question though before we go. Initially, Pops Avex, which is going to be our most incentivized farm. So everyone's aware of that. What that means is basically as the block closes, there's a certain amount that's paid out into the farm, and the most allocated is to the Pops Avex pair. We'll also have Pops Mim. We'll have obviously the Fire Avex pair, and then we'll have Grape Mim, which I'm sure you guys are a little familiar with our Grape partnership with how that works. If you own a Grape Mim LP token on Swapsicle, again, if you own a Grape Mim LP token on Trader Joe, this does not apply. But how our partnership with them works is that if you mint a Swapsicle Grape Mim LP token, you're eligible for the 4,000 Pops tokens that are airdropped every week for the first year. So there's 208,000 total Pops tokens that'll be airdropped in that partnership. And your share is based upon your share in the liquidity pool of the Swapsicle LP token. So those are going to be our four main tokens as well. We're going to have Wrap Bitcoin Avex. We'll have Pops USDC. We're not doing USDCE. It is the USDC coin, which is actually backed by Circle. It's the native token of that. So just so you guys are aware, we're not supplying any liquidity to the USDC.E coin. Just wanted to make sure that was clear. And then finally, let me double check here. We have our, what do we do? We have Pops Mim, Pops Avex, Avex Fire. I believe that's it. Was that 8? I think it was. I'm trying to keep. Oh, and then we're also going to have PFI Avex, which is a gaming token. And there's things around that that are going to come down later in the line, but we're going to initiate that at launch as a listing. So keep an eye out for all those. Again, like I said, guys, can't thank you guys enough for all your support and everything that you've done. But we're so close to launch and couldn't be more excited. So back to you.
Cheers, Brian.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you, Brian. And look, Brian, Alan, if you need to drop, please be our guests. And feel free to say goodbye to everyone. I've got one last question, and I'll keep it short, which is if anyone's got any further questions, they want to be involved, they've got a problem, or they simply just want to know how can they make the most passive income off their Pops token, where should they be going, Jacob?
Head straight on over to our Discord. We've got a great team of mods. And also our core team are actually active on there as well. So, head on over to the Discord. You'll be welcome there. We've got the right environment where you can ask. There's no silly questions. The dedicated channels are in there. If you're new to farming, if you're new to staking, you want to understand what liquidity pools you should be going in, what's incentivized, why you should be doing it. That is the place to ask those questions. I'm actually quite open in saying that I've been on a crypto discovery of my own over the last, 5 or 6 months. I've been fast tracked in and creating this marketing material, the Level Up Your Crypto document, which is an evergreen document. It's been a big piece that I've been working on. And through creating that document, I discovered the in and outs and the inner workings of a DEX myself. And that narrative was really written from myself and my creative for us discovering. So we've done it from that perspective, being someone that probably had a very basic knowledge. And I hope that comes through in that document. But yeah, in the Discord, there's the Level Up Your Crypto Game doc. You can check that out, give it a read, and then also just fire your questions away, and that you'll find that they're absolutely welcome. Hopefully that answers your question, Jordan.
Sure does. And Lee, I see you've just joined us. It'd be rude of me not to give you and Joe a moment to say some final remarks. So, Lee.
Can you guys hear me?
Just about, buddy. Come closer to the mic. Okay, try again.
Oh, no. I'm going to leave and then join back, okay?
No, we got
No
you, man. I
problem,
can
mate.
hear. Oh, okay, he's coming back.
That's too bad. He came through perfectly when he said that.
He did, the irony. Well, Joe, we'll hand over to you, buddy, for any closing remarks. Who are you, bud, and what do you want everyone to remember?
Hi guys, yeah, thanks for having me up. I just wanted to, and I won't take up much of your AMA, I promise, but I just wanted to quickly touch on a question that's been posed to us a few times, and I just want to talk through our thinking on that. And as we've all said on this whole thing, it's all about transparency. So this is the first chance we've had to do that. So what I want to talk about briefly is our corporate structure and how we're set up. Because the question has been asked as to, people can see on Company's House, a UK company, and Tom being the director of that. So I just want to talk that through. But before I do, I just want to remind people, my job is as an accountant within crypto. We do a significant amount of corporate structuring work. This is what we do day in, day out, and this job of creating a structure that allows a crypto decentralized exchange to operate around the world is not one that you can just go onto Company's House, load up a company for 10 quid and move on. So this is not a quick process, and it does take us a little bit of time. So what we've done is we have an incorporated entity in St Kitts and Nevis, and that is a foundation entity. So that is a not-for-profit company, and that is where all of the money sits. So all of the pre-sale money through a Gnosis safe is sat in that entity, which is a foundation created for the community. And that there's no money of that. None of that money is held in the UK. What we are then doing is we've created a UK entity which handles some UK employees, our UK office, and a few bits and pieces like that. At this stage, in order to get the business open, in order to get bank accounts open, and all those bits and pieces to get office leases signed with people all around the world doing lots of different jobs, the easiest way for us to do that was to add Tom as the main director, being that he's the CEO of the entity, and allow him to open up the business as we needed him to. So what we've got now is we've got a UK entity, and we've got an entity that is incorporated in St Kitts and Nevis. What will happen over the next few weeks, and I'm sure you can appreciate, launch has been the priority, right? What will happen over the next few weeks and months is that the St Kitts and Nevis entity will be the 100% owner of the UK entity, and Lee and Alan will be added on to the UK entity as directors. And like I say, I just want to reiterate, we've had comments in the Discord that and elsewhere that the reason we did this was to Tom to be the fall guy and all these crazy things. Tom is someone that I've known for years, and I brought Tom to this project because I knew what he could deliver, and he is about to show you guys what he can deliver now that we're live and we're bringing this thing together, and we've trusted him with that role, and we believe that the community, if they're trusting us as an entity, they should trust him too. So that's what's happened. So we've just to reiterate that really quickly, we have a UK entity that will be wholly owned by our Nevis entity, and the directors of the UK entity will be Lee, Alan, and Tom. But as you can imagine, these things take a little bit of time, so just bear with us while those things happen. But for total transparency, that's exactly where we are, and hopefully that answers any questions on the corporate structuring side. I'm sure no one's going to care about this after I've said it, but if anyone, I'll stay on here. If anyone does have a question and they do want to ask me, that's fine. But this is Phoenix's AMA, not ours. But I thanks for Jordan for just giving me 5 minutes there just to explain that to your community and some of ours.
No need to thank me, Eric, or Luke at all. Honestly, this is all about you guys. Of course, we're going to tag on at the end and answer our community questions. We're not going to go anywhere. But everyone wants to hear from you. We want to hear from you, and this won't be the last time either. I know Al said, this isn't the hard part. This isn't where you guys congratulate one another, because now it's the next phase, which is the more important part. But please don't overlook the achievement you've accomplished already behind the scenes. We won't see that work, and that's the nature of the beast. So thank you, Joe, for going into such in-depth detail about the processes behind the scenes, which we can appreciate, and it gives myself, and I hope the rest of the community, an awful lot more confidence. Lee, I hope we can hear you, sir. Boy, have I missed you.
Oh, my man. How are we doing, guys? I've heard you've got down on one knee since we last spoke, my friend.
I have, and I'm actually playing with my ring right now. It's actually a lot of fun.
Oh, good. So she did say yes, then, yeah?
Oh, gosh. Way to embarrass me in front of your people. Yeah, she did say yes.
Oh, congratulations, my friend. Congratulations. Well, firstly, thank you for hosting such a fantastic AMA this evening, guys, and giving us an opportunity to kind of communicate with your community. Obviously, I'm really proud of the professionalism that my team has shown throughout this. There's a lot of, let's say, FUD floating around about certain things where people are joining dots that do not exist. And unfortunately, that's the world we live in, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to attack FUD with facts, and we've got nothing to hide. So we're just going to go about our business. We're going to develop, and then over the next 6 to 12 to 18 months, you're going to actually see what we're all about, because we can only be kind of graded upon the deliverables that we bring to market, right? So talk to me in a year and still saying that I'm after people's money, because that's not what I'm about. I'm an individual that is one of you guys, the community, and you'll actually see my agenda, which will be clear as day over the next 12 to 18 months as to what I'm going to be doing with our team at Swapsicle, because every single individual that we've employed at Swapsicle has got the community's best interest at heart. And yeah, we're going to be giving some gifts away. Don't you worry about that. And I'm so proud of my team for kind of taking mine and Alan's original idea and inspiration and bringing it to fruition. I'm on hour 17 now of the day, and I am very, very tired. We've initiated 8 smart contracts and a subgraph today. So you can imagine the stresses that we're going through. Oh no, sorry, actually 9 smart contracts, because we had the P-Pops to Pops contract go live as well. And oh my man, it's like the only way I can describe it, which I was explaining to some friends earlier on today, is like waiting for an unborn child outside in the waiting room and you don't know what's going on. And that was really the best way I could describe it. And it's been a stressful day, an enlightening day, a learning day, and something that oh my god, I'm looking forward to going to bed tonight. I can tell you that. Yeah, because all we want to do is bring a lovely, great product to you guys. There was also a question asked earlier on within the AMA about where is the most profitability within the utility of a POPs token. Obviously, we're a deflationary token, and those tokenomic structures are going to come into play as we start to roll out our roadmap. But, for instance, I can't tell you guys where to invest your money, because obviously I'm not an investment advisor, but I can tell you where I'm looking to invest mine, right? So there's a proportion of mine which is going to go into the ice cream van, because it's staking, and I believe in the long-term longevity of the POPs token itself. So I put my POPs token into the ice cream van, and then I come away from the ice cream van with more POPs tokens at the end of the day when I unstake. So that's a really safe bet. But if you want to kind of supply liquidity, then the most incentivized farm with our farm distribution rewards is the POPs AVAX pool, which is actually 8 million tokens. 8 million tokens over the next 12 months that are going to be distributed to that actual farm. So what I mean by that is that you supply AVAX and POPs in a liquidity pool. You then move that LP token over to the farm, and then there's going to be 8 million POPs tokens distributed to that farm contract over the next 12 months. So I'm going to be doing a bit of both. But I really appreciate you guys inviting me up to speak to your audience tonight and just kind of saying hi. I didn't think I could do this tonight because I'm in between developer calls, but I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak this evening.
And it's refreshing to hear from you, bud. Before we say goodbye to you guys, Luke, is there anything you want to say to the team?
Sorry, can I just jump in and say thank you so much to everyone, by the way, because we're down to 9 million of our POPs tokens now. So all of our community is getting on there. They're swapping over their POPs, their PPOPs to their POPs, getting ready to go live. So sorry, Luke, to steal your thunder there, but I just really wanted to say thank you to everyone because it's just incredible.
That's all right, Joe. That's all right. And do you know what? I support your sentiment totally. Well done, guys. Well done. You came out with a real challenge of a goal. And you had your vision, and you set your goal, and you took steps towards it, and you hit hurdles along the way, and you've had to change some things, and you've improved some things. And what's lovely to see is this plan coming to fruition, because I remember the first call we had about it. And I remember your vision and your dream and what you wanted to create. And you've done it, guys. And credit to you lot, man. Hats off to all of you. You've built a great team, you've built a great product, you've built a great brand. Everything about it is great. So thank you so much, from PCC, from our community, and from me. Thank you, because I'm so excited to see this launch. And it's down to you guys, man. Well done. Well done.
Thank you, Luke. And honestly, those kind words really mean a lot to us, because when we had that original conversation, I was like, right, we need to do something for the community. We need to give something back. And that was the number one priority for me. So that was what this was all about. So I'm just glad that we've managed to achieve that, and we're about to go live, which is great. I don't know the minutes, but I think it's minutes, not hours at the moment. And yeah, we've managed to bring that original plan to fruition. And don't get me wrong, it's been the hardest thing in my whole entire life. And I've been involved with some businesses, successful ones and not so successful ones, right? But I'll tell you now, it's the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life, and I've learned so much along the way. But the main thing is that I think we're actually going to deliver something that is beautiful and is community worthy, and also we're not finished. You've seen our roadmap, and you just wait until we start coming out with announcements, because this is the first announcement of probably 3 or 4 big announcements over the next 3 to 4 weeks. So all I'm saying is watch this space, because the DEX launch, you ain't seen nothing yet from me and the Swapsicle team. We're here to kind of leave a footprint, and trust me, it's going to be a big footprint.
No doubt about that. And we'll be watching. We'll be watching the movie. Eric, and finally from you, sir, is there anything you want to say to the boys to wish them well?
Congratulations. Good job. And look forward to everything you're going to be doing in the future. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with you guys and get to know you over the last several months.
And of course, it won't stop after today. That's for sure. So, Jacob, Brian, Joe, Lee, and to the rest of the Swapsicle team, go launch a DEX for us, and we'll be watching and supporting when you need us. All right.
Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. Thank you for all of your help, all of your input. Take care. Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao, team.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Woo. I kind of feel bad holding everyone here, knowing any minute now. it could go live. So Luke and Eric will be short and concise. And just a reminder to everyone, when we bring you up to ask your one question, please make it a question, not a comment. And of course, when you ask your one question, I will have to politely move you down to the audience. So boys, shake out the adrenaline of a monumental moment and let's get some questions in line. So Luke, for the first question, with Swapsicle going live any second, the community want to know, are we dropping Trader Joe and moving over to Swapsicle?
Lovely. Great question. Great question. So we will be launching a liquidity pool with Swapsicle pretty much as soon as it goes live. With regards to migrating it over to Trader Joe, that's a little bit of a more complicated matter, and one that we weren't aware of when we launched Fire. Because the tokens are held in the reward contract, it means that we've got to go through some extra steps. And I don't know if we're going to be able to migrate the entire liquidity pool over or whether we're going to be spread over two. The intention is to fully launch onto Swapsicle. However, we need to fully investigate how. But we'll be launching liquidity over there. In order to remove it from Trader Joe, it needs a smart contract update. So it's something that we're going to be working on in the short to medium term. But we'll be having a liquidity pool on there pretty much immediately. So yeah.
Super. Thank you for answering that. It's always been part of the vision. I remember, Luke, when we sat down with dinner with the boys back in early Feb, that was always the goal. So the master plan is coming together. You can't rush perfection. Eric, we're going to come to you. Something which I was really, really a big advocate for at the beginning until I lost complete track. And now everyone else wants to know, where are we with how many staff on payroll? And secondly, will we see an organizational chart so everyone can see the faces and the positions involved?
Yeah, this is a common question we get in the Discord a lot, so I'm happy to answer it here. I've answered it before in the Discord as well. I don't know the exact number right now. It kind of fluctuates from week to week, and I don't revisit it on a daily basis in the middle of all the operations that we're running. But I think it's somewhere around 60 approximately. And yeah, it's not a small organization. A lot of people think we're a small startup with maybe a handful of people trying to pull all this together. Listen, guys, we have departments like any other corporation has. We have the operations department, we have marketing, we have legal, we have finance, we have business development, project management. The list goes on and on. Strategy team as well. So we have various people in various positions, all working towards a common goal. We're constantly improving our processes and procedures to make sure that we're getting the most efficiency out of the people that are working for us. And that's where we sit with the organizational chart. Now, with regard to an organizational chart with people's faces and names on it, we're not going to be releasing an org chart for a couple of reasons. One is that our employees have a reasonable expectation to maintain privacy if they want to. And it's not really necessary for nest holders to know every person who works in every position. And I hear many of you already thinking, well, I just want to know what positions do you have? And that would be wonderful information. The problem with that is that it does expose some of the methods on how we do business, and we don't want to share that with any potential competitors. So we have 60 people approximately on payroll. That's not counting the people at Combat Waffle Studio that we support, and also the people at Spectrum. I get those two confused so easily. I apologize. The people at Spectrum, that does not include Spectrum staff. It does not include Combat Waffle staff, which we also support with our operating expense budget. So if you people have seen numbers floating around and you think, well, this number divided by 60, they're paying way too much. No, it's all operating expenses monthly budget. That's the number you see floating around. And that's also an estimate as well, by the way. So it's not an exact figure. It's just something I pulled out of my head based on some rough arithmetic that I did quickly in my head one day. So, but yeah, that's the answer to that. We're not sharing an org chart. You're not getting people's names for every position. You do know who the officers of the company are. I think that's pretty much made apparent by the people here in the Discord who share themselves pretty regularly on the chat.
Definitely. And we'll definitely put together a higher level organizational chart. People like myself, Paul, you see there quite actively, our beloved Koos as well. You'll see the moderators, because even our moderator team is growing, right? That's part of our payroll.
I forgot to mention, Jordan, I'm so apologize. There's an entire division dedicated to public relations as well, and that's the part that you sit in so comfortably. So, yeah, that's. But yeah, anyways, the point is there's a large organization here.
Certainly, and every day the systems and the processes are improving. Luke, we're coming back to you, and this is an intriguing one, one which could play out any second. So the question is, if the price keeps dropping of the FIRE token, are you personally concerned that people would start buying up nests? But that's not the issue, because the issue is us reaching the 200K cap of round 2, or even round 3 mark before we've even had time to create round 2 incubations and investments. And to finalize, we could be in round 3 before we've even seen incubator income for round 1.
Right. Well, logically, that's a good thing because it means we raise capital before incubation. So obviously, the price is indicative of market sentiment. So the more people that buy the token, the higher the price will be. So if we reach round 2 cap before round 1 is finished, then that's a good thing because it shows market sentiment is bullish. It shows that people believe in the vision. And it also allows us to push and grow. So no, I think it's a good question, but I only see it as a good thing.
Certainly, and if anything, the example they gave played out with round 1. We raised funds for round 1, and there was no income. In fact, any minute now, we're about to generate our first cash positive income for PCC from one of our incubators. So that's not an outcome we're worried about. It's a situation that we're currently in. And as Luke mentioned, if tomorrow we hit round 2 by some miracle, that's fantastic. We have much more resources now to get to work. So thank you, Luke, for answering that question. Eric, you touched upon this earlier about how much information as a public company, and especially one of our size, shares with everyone. So everyone wants to know, how much company stock do you, Luke, and any other employees own, including nests or FIRE in our case, as well as their salaries? This person asked, wouldn't it be great, look for PCC to disclose what the team owns in relation to Phoenix? If finished with, it would increase legitimacy. So Eric, thoughts and feelings around that question?
Yeah, a few things. First and foremost, I would point out that the question that we've got here is in relation to public companies, public meaning publicly traded companies, and this is not a publicly traded company. Phoenix Community Capital is a company that was founded by myself and Luke. I think we've mentioned it before. If not, it's not really a secret. We're 50-50. I'm 50%, Luke's 50%. And it was formed with private investment from myself and Luke at the time of inception. So yeah, that's what it is. With regards to anything further than that, it's a private corporation that we don't necessarily need to disclose or are not obligated to disclose any financial information about the people and their salaries and all that stuff. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Just to point out, this company was formed with private money from myself and Luke before we even launched a token, before we ever started taking people's money for investment. It's just PCC, Phoenix Community Capital, is mine and Luke's company. Now there is a concept for nest holders who have a financial benefit from some of the not some of the, but the projects that we launch, the companies that we invest in, and those returns on investments do go back to the nest holders. But that doesn't necessarily give any type of an entitlement to all the information at the parent company that's owned by myself and Luke. So as a private entity, we're not going to be disclosing any more information. I'm happy to tell you it's a 50-50 share, myself and Luke are even.
Swapsicle is live.
Yeah, also Swapsicle is live. But don't go anywhere.
My question next.
Yeah, everyone hang around for Luke. Okay, let's not see the numbers drop straight away. Or multitask. Have 2 screens up. Hang around with us. Figure out how to use their decks. So, I'm now getting shout-out requests in the general chat and Phoenix chat. Meatball, there you go. Paul, I won't say your name anymore because I don't want your ego to get any bigger. So, Luke, over to you, buddy. And this question actually threw me off. I'm going to say I actually don't know what this person's speaking about, but I hope you do. So the question is, I see some NAS migrating their contracts to use Horde services for stabilizing prices. It's no shame to admit that they potentially had the best idea going into NAS. Since fire price is crucial for nest holders, in this person's opinion, to cover fees and fill the treasury and operations, why don't we use this tool as well? Thoughts and feelings, Luke?
You know what? Okay, cool. So, might be a long answer. Nodes as a service migrating their contracts to use Horde services for stabilizing prices. I'm looking at Horde. I think it's a great project. I love the fact that they have a pegged price. I think that's great. There's only one concern that I see with using that model, and that's if it's 10 to buy and they drop 20, where does that extra 10 come from, and how do they maintain the pegging of the price? That's my concern as a token owner and someone that knows DeFi inside out. For me, there's a fatal flaw there. We spoke early on within Phoenix Community Capital, before anyone had these decaying nodes, we'd already had the idea and thrown it away, because we don't want your nests decaying. We want you to earn from your nests, not disappear when 20 tokens have been created. Also, on the flip side of that, we're not nodes as a service. We never have been. We use a similar economic model with our Reflections token, but we're not nodes as a service. We're not DeFi as a service. We're incubation as a service, which is something totally different. Now, another thing to clarify as well is fire price is not crucial for us to fill our treasury or for operations. We completely removed any sell pressure on the smart contract by ourselves. So the only price fluctuation on the token price is going to be via buys and via sells. But essentially, guys, you guys control the price, not us. We control the smart contract. You control the price, and that price is dictated by market sentiment. And you all know how it's been for the last 2 weeks. So I'm not surprised with how the chart's looking, because market sentiment is what drives the price. And I think Lee made a really good point earlier on, because there's been some horrible accusations thrown around, and I don't mean to get off point, but wise man told me today, if you spot it, you got it. And we generally see that a lot of people project who they are online. So the message is, if you see a flaw in our plan and you think you see a hole, then thanks for telling us what you're like. We really appreciate that, and we let our actions talk for ourselves. So going back to the Horde question, we're not going to be using Horde's model for stabilizing prices, because I think it's economically flawed.
Perfectly put, Luke, and a very strong opinion, and one which I know you stand by, and as part of the team, we stand by that decision as well. Now, the final question of the pre-submitted questions before we go over to the live ones, and we know people are eager to go engage with Swapsicle, is, Eric, for you, will you talk about transparency on real-world assets and be able to disclose the income kind of like real-world stock market data?
What a beautiful question. So first thing to note here is that stock market data is typically gathered, well, not typically, stock market data is gathered on corporations that are publicly traded, alluding to my earlier answer. I'm noticing a theme here, actually. I've got all the questions about the sharing of information from the corporation. I think Luke got all the fun questions today. That's not fair.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, well, you got all the fun announcements at the start. So.
I got all this stuff. I got all the old stuffy boardroom questions. This is terrible. I'm sorry. I apologize, gentlemen. So, ladies and gentlemen, sorry, moving on. That just hit me. I was like, this is like I'm answering the same question for the third time. No, we're not a public company. We do have a reasonable expectation from nest holders to know information, so it's not unusual or necessary for you to ask this kind of information. We plan to make it as transparent as possible for the nest holders, so that you can see what's going on with the companies and the projects that we are financially backing. The only real world asset that we currently have, and I use the term real world, it's kind of interesting because they kind of blur the lines, but it's the corporation Combat Waffle Studios. We have a 60% holding in Combat Waffle Studios, and they are still in a pre-revenue state. They're currently developing wonderful, wonderful video games for virtual reality experience that they will be happy to share more information on when we get closer to the launch dates, and development is a little bit more mature and refined. If you guys have any questions about Combat Waffle Studios, Scott is very capable of fielding questions. I believe he's in the Discord on most days. If not, he's here occasionally. Feel free to send him a message or just at him in the chat if you have questions about that particular one. So that's the only real world investment we currently have. Now, we've talked about some going into the future, but those are still in a bit of a planning state. So there's no asset value or cash flow or revenue, and looking at the balance sheets and the income statements, we don't have those yet because they're not in a revenue producing state. They're still in planning. But the idea is, generally speaking, nest holders will be made aware of that type of information. We are working on a way. Actually, we've already got the method. I've seen it. The website we talked about early on, that we were going to expose this data to nest holders, and we've got a mechanism in place where we can do a cross check. So you have to log in with your wallet address on the browser, just like you do on our D app on the website when you go to click and claim your fire or build nests. You can click on a link to connect your wallet. This, by the way, is still under development. I don't want to give anyone any false expectations that it's up and live and running, but in development, I've seen it. It does work. You click the button. If you don't have a nest, you can't get in. Right? So we do a cross check. If you have a nest, it presents a page that has a graph on it, and it's got some columns and lines where it shows. Right now, it's just placeholder data, but the intention is to have company and then revenue, profitability, and so you'll have exposure to that kind of information. But we don't want to make it public. We just want it to be available to nest holders because you do have a reasonable expectation to see that information, and we agree with that as you see fit. So. I apologize. That's the end. I have a really bad time of just like trailing off at the end instead of actually ending the sentence. I'm done.
I think just to clarify and go back over what Eric said, like we're the first in the market to do this, and we've watched people copy us every single time, and it's laborious, guys. They say imitation is the best form of flattery. So to everyone who's copied us, thank you. We're really, really grateful. But every single time, it's almost like, does no one else innovate in this space? I know the Swapsicle boys do because we've watched them do it. But does everyone else just copy and paste other people's ideas? So that's what we have to protect, guys. Phoenix Community Capital, we plan to be the biggest in the market. That's our plan. And if we keep giving our secret sauce away to every man and sundry, then Fire and Phoenix Community Capital aren't going to be the biggest in the market. So as nest holders, when we release this information to you, we kindly ask that you don't share it with anyone, because the last thing we want to do is allow our competitors to get wind of what we're doing and allow them to take capital market advantage. We don't want that. So yeah, man, we want to do it for you guys, but we need to protect what we've got coming.
It is a fine balance. It's a fine balance, and one which patience pays. Right, and with the patience paying sentiment, we have the time, the community love, which is coming up and speaking with both of you directly. Now, just to reiterate, one question. After that question, you'll be removed back to the audience. Please avoid making a comment, positive or negative. Only questions. So raise your hand now if you want to come up. We understand, of course, Swapsicle has gone live, and everyone, including myself, will be watching the chart, will be on the decks, and I'll be playing around with my POPs tokens to really figure out what's the most effective way to be part of their community. So, Neo121, before you come up, Eric, is there something you want to say?
Yes, I do want to make another, just a reiteration. If you were late joining the AMA and missed the announcement section, I'm going to repeat a statement that I said earlier, and then I'm going to reiterate the conditions on questions. So, as you know, there was a small issue a few days ago with a bad actor and suspicious activity. We have amassed a great deal of evidence, which we have handed over to global law enforcement agencies who are actively investigating. As much as we would like to share the details with you, we have been advised by legal counsel not to make any statements or answer any questions regarding an ongoing criminal investigation. So, with that said, if your question is about anything concerning the contract exploit, details around that, dates, timelines, amounts, who's involved, who's investigating, can we get the case number? We are not going to answer any of those questions. That question will be partially heard and you will be dismissed back to the audience. That's all. Thank you.
Excellent. So with that being said, Eric, and hopefully everyone knows, we welcome everyone up
Absolutely.
onto the stage.
No, I don't mean to be unwelcoming. I'm sorry if I sound unwelcoming. I just want to make sure everyone's abundantly clear that if that's your question, we're not going to answer it and you will be dismissed back to the audience. Thank you.
Of course.
So let's clarify.
Mic check.
Let's clarify,
Oh,
Jordan. We value challenging questions. It's the only way that we are going to grow and develop as people in a business is by answering challenging questions and seeing alternative points of view. And we've never shied away from any questions up on this stage. We love them. However, there are certain protocols we have to follow when it comes to law enforcement. We apologize to that. But anyway, over to you, Jordan.
Nice, thank you. Neo121, do you want to give us a mic check?
Can you hear me?
Got you loud and clear.
Yeah.
Welcome, Neo.
Hey, Neo.
I'm eager to hear from you.
Hey,
It's
how
nice
you
to
doing?
meet you. I'm Luke. How are you?
Okay, nice to meet you, Luke. I think it was Eric. We had us a nice little chat.
Yes, we did.
I think it was Saturday. And hey, I appreciate you taking the time to that little chat, but this is a little easier for me. But a lot of the things I will tell you, a lot of the things that I was looking for, the things that I was going to bring up and talk about, a lot of them have been kind of sort of answered in the last couple of days. Okay. The addressing the way you addressed the situation with the contract. Hey, I expect an answer like that from a company that's operating like a company. The website, if it's in development where we can go and check and get numbers,
Neo,
projections.
sorry to jump in, sir. Sorry to jump in really quickly.
Okay,
Just your question, if that's okay. Thank you.
Okay. The question that I have is, now that we have a new CFO, when or before that is what's holding up the website going live, where we can go get the numbers so he can still go over them, make sure that they're in line with what you guys are thinking? Is that part of what is keeping that from going live right now? And that's my only question.
Thank you very much for the question, and that is a negative. So what's holding us up right now from going live is that it's still under development, and the data that we were going to fill the website with is just now starting to be produced. So that would be the data from, Swapsicle, Spectrum. We don't have any of our investments, and this is pretty well stated by a lot of people. We're not revenue positive. We will be here shortly. I think Swapsicle just launched. Spectrum's coming, as I said, imminently soon. Earlier, I apologize once again for the vagueness of imminently soon, but expect it imminently soon. And once those start generating profits and the development of the website is done, then we will launch the website as expected. I apologize for the delays and any misunderstandings on when that would be launched. We do want the CFO to be involved, so he's going to have an input on it, but he's not going to hold up the release of that website tool and that data.
Awesome.
Luke,
Thank you
anything
for
to
that,
add,
Eric.
Luke? I apologize.
Yeah, just to supplement what you've said, and I think you answered it really concisely. We want to give the information. We want to. And I think Eric and I, the whole way along, I think we've probably been overly transparent at times, giving away a little bit too much information when we've wanted to. With regards to this is just purely a development thing. It's under development right now, but we won't release it until it's ready. And we'll never release anything until it's ready. For me, it's about we have to drop excellent projects. And just look at Swapsicle. Like, that's an excellent project. That's the first project that's come out of this. Look at it. So everything that we do is always going to be to the best of our ability. We've never dropped half-assed information. We've never dropped half-assed infographics. Everything has been done to the letter, and we plan to continue that. If you remember when we started, we said, we tell you we're going to do something when we've done it, and we kind of shifted away from that. We didn't mean to. It was just Eric and I wishing to be more transparent with the team. And you may have noticed there has been kind of a stagnation of drops of information in the recent weeks, because we're moving back to the model of when we say we're going to do something, we've done it, and then we'll tell you that we've done it, because we find that is the best way. But no, Neo, thank you for your question, man. It's a good question, and thank you for coming up, brother. We really, really appreciate it.
It was an absolute pleasure chatting with you the other night too, as well, Neo. Hope you're doing well. Best wishes to you and your family.
Definitely. Right then. Coming up next on stage, Colt 45. If you want to do a little mic test with me.
Hey,
Two zigzags.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
It's a hell of a name.
Yeah, we're really good, thanks. We're really good. Thanks for your question. Have a great evening.
That was it. That was a question.
Yeah,
So for that, I get to say something nice about you guys now, right?
yeah, man.
So I just want to let you know the way you guys have handled all the FUD and stuff has been awesome. You guys have been positive, and I know you guys have said, spread kindness. So thanks for keeping that and not going back on it. But my question is this: you've announced some things that were in incubation, like screenwrite, some different things, and I know some things you can't talk about, which is fine. But do you have a list of everything that's for phase 1 incubations yet, or is that kind of still open, or is it something you'll disclose in the future?
I've seen an infographic of that floating around. I think it was. I think the moderators came up with something. I might be misplacing the.
They have.
They've come up with something. It looks interesting, and I think it's accurate. We need to review it before we release it, but I think that's already been done.
Okay.
It just needs to be reviewed for accuracy and make sure that it's appropriate for the level that we want to release information.
Well, perfect. Thank you guys. You guys enjoy your night.
Thanks, Cole. It's sat with our director of communications. He's ready to drop. We're just finalizing it. So great question, man. Thank you.
I want to make a small comment real quick, Jordan, if you don't mind. I'm so sorry. I have a tendency of just stepping on your first sentence. I apologize. There are currently 521 people listening to this AMA. We have 2 people waiting to speak. So if you've never spoken before, if you want to get up and say, ask a question for the first time, there is a little icon, looks like a hand stretched out. If you press that button, we will see that you want to speak, and then we will acknowledge you. You will get an invite to come on stage, acknowledge the invite, and then you'll be able to come up and speak. So just want to point out there's over 500 people in here, and we had like 2 people that had their hand raised, and that was it. So if you feel like you're not going to get heard, now's the time.
And you know what? Just to follow up Eric's sentiments, and play devil's advocate. If you don't want to ask a question, you don't have to.
Well, I mean, I feel like that goes without saying. Obviously, if you don't feel like you want to get on stage and say something in front of a crowd of 500 people, that's fine too. But it's a safe space. If you want to ask a question, just know there's not a long line here. There's not a long queue to get in to speak to us. So if you feel like you've never got a chance to speak and you want to, hey, great, come on in. I imagine everybody's distracted by Swapsicle right now, to be honest.
And for good reason. And for good reason. And Cole, I think it was you. Please correct me, buddy. I saw your recommendation of us having that diagram put together, and that went back to the mods, and they're already developing it. So again, with your suggestions, we listen and we implement. If it's not the right time, we shelf it and we revisit. So next up on stage, we're going to bring up Aiceto Logleto, our good friend. Now, sir, we love your positive comments, a question, and then you can give us some love.
Can you guys hear me?
Thank you
We
for your
sure
question.
can.
Appreciate it. Have a good night.
You already said that joke, man. Old hat.
No, Luke, I'm saying it's two different people.
Listen, I just wanted to read. I don't have a question, as I never have a question. I just want to say you guys handle the fund beautifully, professionally. There's a lot of real babies on that you have to deal with, and I commend you. And I never invested in PPC or the product. I don't even know what the hell DeFi is or crypto. I don't know how it works. I invested in Luke, Eric, and Jordan. That's all I've always invested in the last 10 years. And I haven't lost 1 ounce of faith. And I love you guys. And that's it.
We love you too, man. We love you too. And thank you for coming up and giving us, number one, those kind words. Number two, your love and faith. We really, really appreciate it. And
jokes,
man, it's
jokes
such a
on
good
me.
joke.
Jokes on
It's
me.
such a good joke. I did. We did it twice.
No, the joke's on me because he actually did ask a question and then make a comment. He never asked another question. So I was being funny. That was his only question, and then he got to make comments. He played by the rules. Well played, sir.
What a legend.
Oh, we love you, bro. We love you, bro. Right then, we'll keep it moving. Then people are slowly coming in. I don't know how to say your first name, but we have some good interactions on Twitter, bro. You're part of the XRP family. Welcome up on stage. Do you want... Oh, there we go.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
We can. Don't
Yes.
worry. That wasn't
Good
your only
evening,
question.
fellas. How's it going?
No, we're not doing that joke anymore.
Hey, man. How you doing,
How's it
Babaji?
going?
You good?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. So actually, I just had a question. It's kind of more like I would just love to get a feel for your mindset for Eric and Luke and everybody at PCC, really. I would love to know, like, what is your goal in 2 to 5 years? Where would you like to see PCC? How many incubator projects? Obviously, I'm not asking for specifics, but I just like to get a mindset and a feel for people and their goals and their, ambitions.
Oh, that's a good question. Can I start, Eric?
Yes, you go first,
Please.
and then I'll listen to what you say and try to one up it.
Fantastic. Good luck one up in this.
Okay.
We intend to completely revolutionize the DeFi, crypto, and real world interaction of crypto. We have a roadmap that is going to completely level up everything. When we said that we wanted to bridge the gap between traditional and digital finance, we've already been working on it. And 5 years is going to be I think we're already on year 3 of our roadmap, aren't we, Eric?
Yeah, I think so. 3 years is where we thought we would
be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think year 5 will be done by the end of the year. For me, it's just a case of we're in a space where we're now the pioneers and the innovators, and I want to see how far that can go. I know that the ideas, the community, and the network that we have around us and we work with and support is one of the best in the industry. We have some of the best minds. We've said from day one that we surround ourselves with the best minds. And I'll tell you what, our team is something phenomenal. Our network is something phenomenal. And all of our colleagues across different companies is something phenomenal. So I think in 5 years' time, I want to see Phoenix Community Capital as a household name within the crypto industry. I want to see Phoenix Community Capital be spoken about with as much freedom and joy as Ripple XRP and Ethereum. For me, it's about taking PCC, taking what we do and taking it global. We're already global, but making it integrated into society, into nations, and into people's pockets as well. Over to Eric.
You know what you are. You're like, I don't know if you grew up with brothers or not, but I grew up with brothers. And this is This is precisely like when I was growing up with my brothers, and someone says, "There's only one cupcake left. You guys have to share it." And then you go, "Fine, I'll share it." And then you eat 99% of it and leave me crumbs and say, "Well, at least I shared it." It's exactly what you just did. I have nothing to add to that. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I have nothing to add to that. You've eaten the whole cupcake and you've left me crumbs, and I'm sorry. You left nothing for me to say. I apologize. So well said. Yeah.
Thanks, Eric.
Good
It
job.
wasn't the best cupcake, but I enjoyed all of it.
You enjoyed it. That's okay. No, it was a good answer. There was literally nothing I could add to that except for, let me see. There might be something I could add to it. Everyone should know this, but it's probably worth repeating. When we go to these other countries that we've visited, we have discussions at the highest levels of government and regulatory bodies. So we're not playing around. We're not messing around. When Luke said we're global, yeah, we're already global. We're already well-known, respected people in certain circles at the higher levels in most of these countries we're going to. So, yeah, I think beyond a vision, we have the ability to execute on it if we seize it.
There were some pretty good crumbs, Eric. Well done.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I liked a little bit of icing too. It seems like.
Well, now that we've settled that Luke is the favorite child, let's bring someone else up on stage.
No. I said the greedy one. He ate all the cupcake.
GAU, we have sent you a request. You've been patiently waiting. Go on, Luke.
I was just going to say it's nice to be the favorite child.
Oh gosh,
it's
there's some
Gold.
real pain there.
Yes, good day,
Mr.
guys.
Gold.
You okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's not my one question. So I was busy. I didn't have my
Mr.
hand
Gold,
up.
how are you?
Good, mate. Good. I was just busy off buying some more pops on market at a discount, so I was a bit distracted. Didn't have my hand up early, so forgive me for that one. My question was,
It's all right.
my question was, could we get a Gantt chart? And I directed this to Eric the other day, and I understand there's lots of people directing questions with stars on them, but could we get a Gantt chart of round one, round two businesses so people can clearly understand what's in round two, what's in round one, and a rough guide as to what quarter or year they might be in, just so people can visualize that part?
I think we might I think so, but we might could do it on that website that I was talking about earlier that's under development. Put some information on there in chart form. It's like I don't know if you guys know what that is or not. A Gantt chart. It's like a project timeline. Where certain events happen in certain months, and it's just sort of in linear format. We could probably do something like that on the website where all the other information is going to be shared with nest holders, but we have to make sure that it's shared only with nest holders. And we kindly ask that if you see it, don't take screenshots and share it with others. And I've just given away the methods. I'm so sorry.
Don't give our stuff to other people, please. We like our stuff and we like preparing our stuff for you guys. And if it goes to other people, it's not you guys that enjoy it, it's other people. So when we drop our stuff, please keep it as our stuff. Thank you.
What a quote that's going to be. Can everyone please quote what Luke just said? There's a lot of stuffs in there. Oh, brilliant. Right then, Sean, an OG in this space. What's up, King? Oh, what an ugly profile picture too.
Oh, I like Pepe the Frog.
For you, Jordan. Good afternoon, fellas. How you going?
Good to hear you, man.
Just kidding. Hey, look, just wanted to know. What's that?
I said, hey, man, but my mic button was going a bit squiffy. Good to see you, man.
I've got a very simple question for you guys, and that is, how many incubator projects in total, signed or unsigned, stuff that's not necessarily concrete yet, do you guys have going at one time?
At one time.
A good question.
Like, how many deals are we working on at any given time? I don't know. Typically, like two or three, maybe four.
Yeah, I mean, we've got
that we're exploring
a lot of. We're probably there's a lot that we're exploring.
Yeah. Could have used some clarification on that
digits at
question.
least. Yeah. Well, Shaunus, good question.
How about do me a favor? Raise your hand back up so I can get clarification on the question.
Yeah.
If it
is.
helps, Luke, Paul has just mentioned how many we have.
Yeah, there we go,
Our
Shaunus.
chat.
Can you clarify the question? Because it's sort of vague, and we were left to just interpret it on our own. I apologize.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, how many pies do you guys have your fingers in right now? And how many pies are sitting on the table that you're trying to stick your finger in?
Oh my goodness, what a way to put it.
Well, it makes it simple.
That's
It does.
That's coincidentally perfect because that's a term that we've used internally is, finger in many different pies.
A little slice of a lot of pies is what we wanted.
Yeah.
We wanted a lot of pies, but little slices. Signed and unsigned. Well, signed deals, we've got Swapsicle, we've got Spectrum,
Billy Drop.
we've got Combat Waffle, we've got Billy Drop, we've got Gamery, we've got Griffin, we've got, that's 6. We've got Niffy, that's 7. And then unsigned, I mean, we got the we got the we're gonna we've got we got
Oh, Luke, your mic's breaking up, buddy.
And
could you just repeat a few of those?
most important one is
Oh gosh, if only you had better connection.
Oh man. All right, so we're not going to say names, but how many unsigned do you think we have at the moment?
Probably
no names,
6.
just a number. Probably 4, 5 or 6. Yeah.
About 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. 6 to 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Yeah, that's apologies. It was comical, but probably some people didn't like it and think it was funny. Yeah, sorry guys. This goes back to the comment I made earlier about first to market advantage and maintaining some of that level of discretion with information so that we don't tip our hands to some of the people playing with the cards on the other side of the table.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Hey, well, I appreciate the comical value, if anything. Now, paying attention to time, guys. We ran over, as always. It's becoming a good habit of ours. Happy to stick around to 1:45.
I'm perfectly fine. It's like 5:40 in the afternoon for me, so I'm good. It's up to Luke.
Lovely.
Yeah, I'm good, man.
Beautiful. Right then. So for the next 7 minutes, let's see how many we can get through. Cryptic Vision, sorry. You've been patient. Come on up. Join us. Do a little mic test with me. How are you sounding?
Mic test 1, 2, 3.
Affirmative. What's your question, sir?
Can hear you.
Hey guys, how you guys doing? Everything good?
So far, so good, man.
Awesome. Is that okay? I can just ask two quick questions real quick?
Yeah. Well, no, just one. Sorry, just one.
Yeah, it's gotta be one. Sorry.
Because of both of them. All right.
If you can figure out how to fit them both in the same question mark, then perhaps you could do it that way.
Well, okay.
Don't give the secrets
Okay,
away,
well,
Eric.
first of all, part of your incubation project, I don't know if it's just me or everybody else, but I'm on the Swapsicle, I'm sorry, I should say, website. And, I bought my tokens and I staked them. Now, for me, I don't know if it's just my website or anybody else's, but isn't it supposed to show like how much you're accruing on the website for the staking APR? Because it keeps saying loading, even though I refreshed it. Or is that just like once I stake it, then it'll show how much I earn in SPOPs?
That was your one
question. Is that one question or two?
Well, that's actually all one question because I was just explaining, what I was doing and then asked the question.
Okay, cool. So,
Okay, so it's a block issue. The rewards the rewards haven't started yet. As soon as the new block is initiated, the APR will be on there. You see it says there yesterday's APR as well, so that you'll have the log on it. It's just where it's so fresh. Certain things get turned on a little bit later when the blocks are ready.
I'm glad you actually had an answer to that. I was just going to tell him to ask that to the Swapsicle team. That's like Swapsicle
Yeah.
tech support question right there. But hey, good question, man. Nice having you up. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
man. Who's next?
Next up is OPT 1987. 10
Good year.
years before I was born.
Good year. I remember that one, 87.
What were
That's
you
right.
doing,
That's right.
1987, Eric?
That's right. I'm old. I can remember 1987 very well.
God, you can, can't you?
I think I was in second grade. I think I was in second grade in 1987, maybe third grade, somewhere around in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty old, guys.
Hey, we
Don't
can hear
worry.
you. Come a little bit
Hey,
closer
man.
to the mic. You're a little bit quiet.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
We sure can. What's your question, man?
I don't know
Hey,
if
y'all.
this is already. Hey, I don't know if this is already answered. I just wanted to know about the exploit which happened in the announcement on the May 26th. Like, did we figure it out? What exactly? Like, did we stop it? Like, it's not going to happen anymore? And how much money we lost because of that?
Yeah.
So, Eric, go on, Eric. You said, but we've been very clear about it.
I'll repeat it just so everyone can hear it now in case you were late to the party. We had a statement prepared for this. So I'll read the statement again. By the way, I am reading a statement, so it's not going to be different every time I read it. But as you know, there was a small issue a few days ago with a bad actor and a suspicious activity. We have amassed a great deal of evidence, which we have handed over to global law enforcement agencies who are actively investigating. As much as we would like to share the details with you, we have been advised by legal counsel not to make any statements. This is an ongoing criminal investigation. We're not going to make any comments about methods or whether or not how long it's been going on or how much in dollar figure or in crypto figure was affected. No details are going to be shared because of the nature of the investigation. Now, I did make a statement earlier that we are aware of it. The vulnerability was discovered and the vulnerability has been corrected. So it's not an issue going forward. However, just so you're aware, we're not going to be commenting any further, answering any questions about the ongoing criminal investigation.
Okay, thanks for reminding us, Eric. Let's make sure we finish on a high note. So, next up, RRC, another OG.
How are we doing, guys?
Fantastic. Thank you.
Good. Hey, I just wanted to respond to the two questions ago about the staking in the Swapsicle van. I believe that's generated off of a 24-hour calculation, so it may not actually come up for till 24 hours on the actual of the DEX being live. So tomorrow it would populate off of the transactions from today for the first 24 hours. So just some clarification on that, possibly.
Yeah, correct. It's going to be a question more for the Swapsicle team than us, but with regards to that, I think you've hit the nail on the head. It needs 24 hours for it to settle fully. We're fortunate, Hey guys, have you ever interacted with a crypto website minutes after launch? Congratulations. But that does mean that there is the odd teething issue. But in the grand scheme of things, they've done really well with that. Give it time. I know that they're working heavily in the background. They're also listening to this as well. So I'm sure they're aware of it, and I will message them to follow up. But just time. Time is the best thing, right?
Yeah, I remember when we launched our first website. I didn't sleep for 2 days.
Man, I
You remember that? We didn't sleep. Like it was crazy.
We put out a 52. I put out a 52-hour shift when we launched. 52 hours. I remember it. I remember sat on my desk in my chair, right, exhausted. There's a picture of Napoleon Bonaparte, right, after a battle, and he's just sat on this chair, absolutely flaccid. And I look at it and I just remember the day we launched. It was credit to these guys, man. They've nailed it.
I imagine they're not going to sleep for a couple of days, to be honest. It just seems to be the
Man,
nature
it's
of it.
been what, 6 months? I've still not caught up on my sleep.
Yeah.
But we wouldn't have it any other way. And hopefully the lack of sleep they lose is for good reasons. Sadly, it's come to that time where we're going to have to say a good farewell to 460 of you. Thank you for sticking with us during arguably one of the most exciting AMAs we've had to date, which is the launch of Swapsicle and their decks. If you haven't already, jump into their Discord. We've got some fantastic mods and the Swapsicle team hanging around in our chat rooms. So any issues, head over to their Discord. Eric, any final remarks from you?
As always, be good to each other and keep having fun.
I expected nothing less. And Luke, what about you, sir? Try and top that.
Right. That's a tough act to follow as well. I'll tell you what. So we've been going for 6 months, right? Nearly. And it's been a right roller coaster of a ride. And the last 2 weeks for me personally they've been challenging. And I must say, it's the resilience of this community and our team that has allowed me to have the strength to continue on this wonderful journey. Watching Swapsicle go live today is a massive, massive moment for us. This is something that we've been preparing for since we launched. And to see it launch in such a beautiful way, beautiful manner, almost seamless, is absolutely amazing. Tonight, I'm going to sleep well for the first time in 6 months because we've done what we said we were going to do. Your first incubated project is live. Go interact on Swapsicle. Get to know how it works. Tell your friends, man. This vehicle of change is upon us, and it is up to us to be the capacitors and the people that push that change. It's up to us, right? All of you who are here today are absolutely wonderful. I'm not finished yet, Eric. All of you here today are absolutely wonderful. We love all of you from the bottom of our hearts, and we are here for you every day. I'm just continuing talking so Eric can't jump in.
Exactly. He's just going to keep going. It's like filibuster. He's just going to keep talking and not yield the floor. It's fine. I'm looking forward to, just like you said, a good night's sleep. I'm looking forward to all the people on Twitter who are probably never going to post this and say, wow, I guess they weren't fake all along. But they won't.
I got a message.
They won't post
I got
that.
a message.
That's fine.
Yeah, I got a message when people heard the Swapsicle was going live. They were like, "What? Swapsicle's going live? What, you mean you're actually releasing real projects?" I was like, "Yeah, obviously, man."
Yeah, I don't expect anybody to go back and be like, well, I was wrong. They're not fake.
I'm sure someone will find something to say. But
Yeah, of
you
course.
know what? Let's live by the mantra and share this far and wide. Let's hashtag this. If you spot it, you got it. God bless you all. I love you.
Ciao for now, team.